Well, thanks for joining us, guys. Mostafa and myself started this group, I don't know, 2.5 weeks ago. Just kind of as another source for farmers agents outside of some of the other groups, that we've been a part of on Facebook over the years. For myself, I've been an agent for about 7 months and just wanted kind of a place where we could share things that are working, uh, in a friendly atmosphere. And, I guess one of the first posts that I personally made was about referral partners. And a lot of people reached out and asked things that we're doing in our agency. And I know Mo's doing in his agency. And there's some other people on this call that are friends with Mo and myself that are doing similar things. So rather than try to reach out to everybody individually, which I would love to do, but time gets away from me right now. My agency's still, like I said, 7 months old. So it's just me and my wife right now. So we're keeping plenty busy right now. So we thought we'd just throw out there to have a Zoom call for anybody that wanted to join, and we could kind of talk through how we're kind of combating that that challenge, I guess, to gain loan officers and real estate agents as referral partners. For me, I grew up in an insurance family, and I've always known that was kind of the cream of the crop as far as referral partners for insurance agents. And when I came into agency ownership myself, first as a protege agent and now as an agency owner, I kind of tried it the old-fashioned way, I guess I would call it now, which was just approaching those folks with kind of gift cards and popcorn and golf outings and things like that. And just generally being a good guy and being good at insurance and trying to gain them that way. I'll say my experience doing it that way, we'd gain maybe a couple a year, and they were never consistent that way, right? Those people liked us and they'd throw us a referral every now and then. But certainly nothing we could use as our main marketing approach, gaining a couple of partners a year that maybe had us on a rotation or something like that. So what we've kind of implemented now is solving that issue of, as the insurance agent, how do we bring value to really make it a partnership with those people? How do we give them as much value as we're hoping to get in return? And I won't speak for Mo or Ryan or some of the other people on this call, but what I look at as a good referral partner is someone that's sending me, 5 to 10 referrals a month, a loan officer, a real estate agent. That's for me as a solid referral partner. As you get out there and start working with some of these folks, you'll realize they come in all sizes and shapes, and they don't all refer the same way or at nearly the same volume. So again, how do we bring value to them? What I realized, even being a well-connected insurance agent, is organically, I'm not going to create enough referrals to feed loan officers, especially not a volume of loan officers.
Right.
For me, I probably have 1 or 2 instances every quarter where maybe a client or somebody I know says, "Hey, Zach, do you know anybody that does loans, or do you know a realtor? I'm looking at buying a house." Of course, that's an opportunity to feed that to one of my partners. But if I'm getting 1 or 2 a quarter, that's maybe 5 or 6, maybe 7 or 8 a year of organic opportunities to feed them. And then in turn, I'm wanting 5 to 10 referrals from just one loan officer in a month. The numbers just don't make sense in terms of providing value back to them.
Exactly. I don't want to interrupt you,
Go
but
ahead.
one big thing here about how our DMs, and I'm sure all of our DMs have said this, take them gift baskets, drop off bagels and donuts and lunch and dinner, and if they're telling us all the same thing and we're all seasoned to do the same thing, great, you're being a good guy. You're doing something, and in return, you do want something. But when you walk out and then the next day somebody walks in with the same thing, they're not going to turn that person away, but you're already like on the back burner, so you're already forgotten that you did a good deed that everybody's doing for them. So how do you really separate yourself from everybody else? Because the great thing about loan officers is they come with a built-in sense of urgency. So to have them as referral partners, it's a no-brainer for us. They have to have insurance on that home that they're closing. They need it 30 to 45 days tops, and they need to send it somewhere. So you just got to give them a reason to send it to you. And then the more of them that you have, obviously now you're building a sustainable business model that will be second to none. Because I know you've all bought leads. I've done it. I know Zach's done it. We're all told to do it, and the quality of those leads is subpar at best. Okay. I know I purchased well over 1,000 my first year in, and my closing ratio was 1%. Okay. I'm in Los Angeles. I know that our auto rates are not going to beat anybody out there. Very, very rarely do we beat somebody's auto rate. Okay. So when I'm buying these leads and trying to go after, auto, I found it is I'm just wasting my money, because I'm filling up my funnel with data, but what good is it if I can't capture the client? And that's where I said, okay, I've got to pivot, and I've got to do something different. Now we're more competitive with homes, and our product is better than most out there, being as we have HO5 versus HO3. Okay, so that's one thing I do push as well. But homes is where it's at, and cross-selling from there, it's a lot easier. A lot easier to say, okay, now I can save you 20 to 25% on your home rate if we bundle your auto. But if I start with auto, it's gonna fail. I'm gonna keep admitting people in here, so I'll let you pick it back up.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. Mo's got more experience with farmers than me. Like I said, I was a protege for 2 years, started my agency on June 1st of this year. So about 7 months in right now. And as a protege agent, that was our main lead source outside of our book of business was internet leads. And I just grew to just hate that type of work. Telemarketing style, cold calling style. And then as in my first month as an agency owner, that was what I learned as a protege. So that's what I went all in on in that first month. And it was just massive amounts and I tried all of them. Farmers offers, Smart Financial, EverQuote, HBW,
All web
Quote
lead.
Wizard, all web leads. I tried all of them. And for me, they're pretty much all the same.
If
Some of
anybody's
them.
had success with any of those companies, please chime in and tell me what we were doing wrong, because I'm not opposed to use my cost share to purchase some of those leads, but I need to see better than 1% closing ratio on them. That was my biggest issue with it. Now with the referral partner, when they send me something, our closing ratio is 73% with our referral partners. That is, I'm not going to find that anywhere else. It's not possible to find that with any lead source.
Yeah, not to mention that when you work a referral from a referral partner versus an internet lead, it's just night and day different, right? You're working a warm person that has already been introduced to you in some way, and they already trust their loan officer, their real estate agent that referred them to you, and they're in the home buying mode. They need insurance, and they typically need it very soon. Versus an internet lead that typically is unqualified, to be a great customer for farmers, at least in my experience, non-preferred credit or standard credit, and they're just shopping like they do every 6 months. They're not necessarily in need of insurance. They already have it. They're just trying to find a better deal. So yeah, that's kind of some of the benefits I've seen from working the referral partner route. Anybody else had any success on this call with building those referral partner relationships, or used any strategies before Mo and I kind of talk about the strategy we use?
Don't be shy, guys. This is a group event. We want engagement. We want you to chime in. That's the whole point of this this new group that we started is, 300 heads is better than one. All right. And if we all, put our minds together, then we can all help our agencies grow together. Because as a farmer's agent, I want other farmers agents to succeed, because when we all succeed, we all look better together.
That's true.
Yeah, and I'll say that my early success as an agency owner has been in large part from being coachable and from reaching out to other farmers agents that are having success, with different things. I didn't try to recreate the wheel on my own. I had good mentorship when I was a protege agent. More of the skills I learned from that particular agent were the business ownership skills. As far as the marketing, I really had to go out there and find what was going to work the best. Because like I said, it was more of the old school, what everybody is doing. That's farmers pushes, which is the internet lead train. And of course, marketing to your network and all those things. Marketing to your network is important. I just don't think it's sustainable to do that forever and think that's just going to provide you a consistent lead source. For me, I have a huge network and that worked for about 1.5 years. And eventually that's going to dry up in some regard. So somebody ask a question here.
Marcy commented that she can't talk, but she uses a two-stop close with her lenders, and she's used fully covered. I think she's saying fully covered. However, she's had more luck with the Brady, if you're chiming in, you're cutting badly.
Yeah.
Brady, we didn't catch what you said there.
Maybe he was talking to somebody at the
okay.
house there because he muted himself.
Yeah, sorry, I get off mute for a minute. Keep going.
Yeah, so let's keep it rolling, man.
Yeah, sounds good. So we'll jump in here, show you guys, the program that a few of us on here are using to try to bring that value to loan officers and real estate agents. And really for me, I was already trying to, like I said, approach those types of people. I just didn't really have much to offer them. It was, hey, I'm a good guy. We do a good job on insurance. Until I found a way to kind of bring them value. Mo, am I able to share screen here?
Exactly. Make sure. Yep, you should be good now.
All right. So what we do is we generate new homebuyer leads on Facebook, and we generate these leads. We take this back a step. So you kind of have to kind of get your mind around this. We're going back a level here. We generate new homebuyer leads for our referral partners. So for loan officers and for real estate agents, so that we have something to bring them on the front end. So now when I, for instance, go out and have a meeting with a prospective loan officer that I want to partner with or a real estate agent, I can tell them unfortunately right now, a lot of it is Zoom calls because of COVID-19. But if it does happen to be in person or over a Zoom call, I can show them, I want to bring you leads to your business every week, rather than what everybody else is doing, which is gift cards or popcorn or candy. And I typically tell them, I said, let's do all that stuff too, but I would rather bring you real value to your business in the form of leads every week, knowing that if you convert, even if you just convert one lead that I send you a month, I know the kind of commissions that a loan officer and real estate agent makes. So I just think there's a lot more value in that for you, Mr. Loan Officer, than the other stuff. And I tell them too, I say, all of this is just to give myself an opportunity to get in front of you. We are a great insurance agent. We do bring tremendous value to a client that you would refer on to us. But we understand that there's a lot of insurance agents fighting for your attention. So, so this is an example of a lead. I'm in Minnesota. So this is the ad copy for a new home buyer that this would just show up on Facebook. You know, if you're scrolling on Facebook and you see different ads and things like that, this is an example of an ad you would see. And if they click on the learn more button, it takes them to a survey. It looks something like this. And then they would, the prospect on Facebook would fill out this survey, which has about 10 or 11 questions that they fill out. And if they do fill it out, then it creates a email that goes out to the loan officer with the questions answered. And I tell my loan officers and my real estate agent referral partners the benefits of this type of lead versus the leads that I've worked typically in the insurance industry are that these are exclusive. You know, I'm only sending them to them. They're not going to multiple people, so they're not a shared lead like we would see from EverQuote typically, or any of those lead vendors that Farmers offers. And also they're long form, right? There's quite a bit of good information in here that's helpful for a loan officer who's trying to potentially put in an application for a first-time home buyer. So this is kind of just another example of the PDF that they get with all the questions answered. So what happens is that ad's running all the time. It's producing leads. And when a lead comes in, it's going to fire off this email automatically to whichever loan officer is next in line for me. So I'll just show you here. Mo, did you have anything to add before I keep going here?
No, you know, other than it's round robin, you know, so each loan officer will go in line. So the system is automated in a sense where you don't have to keep track of who you sent what to last, and it will do it for you. But the beauty of that same system is it also sends an email and text message to the lead that just came in within a minute of that lead coming in. So that really sets you apart even more to these loan officers, that you're not just giving them these leads, you're automating the whole sales process.
Yeah, and so what this kind of looks like on the back end is we have software set up. So this is my login, right? So I'm seeing all of my 30 loan officers and real estate partners. This is software that is branded for me. So I chose eliteleads.com. It's got my little insurance agency logo here. So when I sign up a new loan officer, real estate agent as a referral partner, they get added into my software here. And then when they log in, they have their own login to the software. So I'll just use my friend Al here as an example. When Al logs in, he can see all the prospects that I've ever sent him as leads. And what's cool about this software is it automates to all of his leads by email and text. So for example, if I click into Siobhan here from a few weeks ago, email and text campaign starts for Al on his behalf when this lead comes in. In this case, it looks like Siobhan responded to the automation. And then I'm assuming, you know, I don't babysit this. I'm assuming that Al took offline a phone call with Siobhan. He's a realtor, so to either, you know, start the home buying process or looking at homes or coordinating with his loan officer to get this person, you know, approved for whatever amount they're going to be approved for. The cool thing about this software is, in this opportunity to build value with these folks, is a lot of them that I come across haven't yet learned about automation as kind of where our industry as a whole is going, you know, and the importance of, obviously, calling the old-fashioned way is still where we have to be in terms of prospecting, but to text and email them as well and try to just hit them on every platform available, because the whole point is just to make contact, right? So in that example, one of Al's prospects, they texted back and he was able to get on the phone with them and work his magic with them. So, you know, how I've been able to add so many so fast goes back to the confidence that I have now when I have conversations with loan officers and real estate agents is that now I actually have value to bring them. You know, if I call a loan officer today and ask them if they want to be a partner with me, I can tell them that I can have them set up by the end of the call to start receiving leads from me today. And typically my loan officers receive 2 or 3 leads a week, and then they also get access to this software to follow up with their leads. And this software has a whole lot of other features that they can use if they want to. They can actually add their own leads into the software to automate to them if they choose. All of it is, again, just to bring them value so that they want to partner. And, you know, I guess that circles into the last part of the conversation. Typically, agents are wondering this part. So I'm generating all these leads on Facebook every week for these loan officers and real estate agents. Their process takes a lot longer. So for example, I'll just go back into Al for a second. If Varsha or Charles or Terry, who all these have been in the last, you know, week or week and a half, if they close a month, 2 months, 3 months down the line, obviously I'm hoping that that prospect comes back to me for the insurance, right? That I get referred back that lead to do the homeowner's insurance for that person. But the conversation I'm having on the front end with this real estate agent or loan officer is that because of the value that I'm bringing you, I want to be your exclusive insurance agent for all of your referrals. So whatever you're working on this week, I would like to have an opportunity to work on that going forward, everything that comes across your desk. The leads that I provide you are meant to be value, and when those mature down the road into an application for a loan or you know, a home purchase, I want to be the insurance guy on that, but I want to be your exclusive insurance agent on everything that you're working on. And that's where the real value to us comes in, and the real value to create leads for ourselves today. You know, if I have a conversation with somebody today, they're typically working on something right now that they're closing, and I want to get an opportunity to quote that this week. You know, and then on top of that, not to cause overwhelm here, but I typically end my call, a Zoom call with these prospective loan officers or real estate agents by asking them to do their personal insurance. And I tell them, I say, there's no better referral that you can give me than when I'm working on when I'm your personal insurance agent. You know, and that really also works as a tool to find out how serious they are about being a partner. You know, because if they're serious about being a partner with me and they recognize the value that I'm offering them, it's typically not an issue for them to at least give me a chance to quote their personal insurance. So we'll open it up here. I know that's a lot of information. See if you guys have questions, or anybody else that's using this system has anything to chime in on.
Ryan, we know you're using it, so jump on
I was
it.
gonna hold off. I was gonna hold off, see if there's anybody with questions. I've been doing it about as long as Zach. It was about July. So he's got 30 I'm looking at on there. I got 11. But I got 11 people that are sending me business that wouldn't have without this program. It's not the leads, guys. The leads get you in the door. You build the relationships with them, but you're taking something, and Mo and Zach both attest to this, I'm sure. When you talk to these guys, loan officers and whatnot, they may not get it. They may, I'm busy. I'm too busy with refis this year. Well, fine. Guess what, people? That shit's going to end quick. So, you know, you're still going to need to fill your funnel. So you show it to them that way. You show them how you're going to help them fill their funnel. And you're going to get some that aren't interested, and you're going to get others that say, I can't believe this. Absolutely. What do I got to do? It's that easy. You know, you got to show value. You got to show them what you can do for them outside of donuts and gift cards. It's just the way it's going nowadays. And I'm thrilled. I'm glad to be in it. I'm only on here to support some of the guys in here, but I don't get paid. I'm not selling it. I'm just telling you, it's changed my agency. I'm here to answer any questions you want. Reach out to me outside of it too, as well, anytime.
Yeah, and you know, You hit something right on the head there. I've gotten plenty of them that told me, I'm so busy with refis right now, I really can't take anything else on. And that's exactly how I answer them. That well will dry up soon. So keep me in mind. When it does, I'll be here and I'll still be generating these leads, and I will still gladly have you as a part of our team. I have a whole list of those guys that said that to me. I have a spreadsheet called Refi. And those guys that said that to me, they will be getting a call. And I strongly believe it's going to be this year that the whole refi well will dry up. And from there, I'll say, hey, I'm still doing this. I'd love to have you jump on board.
Yeah.
And I've got others that said, we're too busy for any leads right now, but we appreciate your hustle and we'll gladly send you leads. And they've sent me business that we've closed just off of a phone call. And it's that simple. You go out there, you put yourself in front of enough people, and people will send you business.
Well, I'll throw it out in the group, for everybody else, what are you doing? What's there, chime back in. What are you doing now to get business?
Yep. I say that to people all the time. If not this, then what?
Yeah.
Hello, guys. This is Carlos.
Yeah, jump on in, Carlos.
Yeah, I think I'm in the same situation as Mo was many years ago. I'm a little frustrated because I've been getting, buying all the internet leads from different vendors, and I'm in the same situation where my close ratio is 1%, 2%, and I'm using my cost share. So that's why I jump into this call, because I do want to learn about your systems. Last year I think there's a vendor there on Farmers. It's called My Agency Connection. I don't know if that's similar. Didn't have a good experience with it. So I don't know if you guys had any experience with that vendor as well.
Yeah, you know what? I actually tried that. Before I found this, I did try the agent connector. And the issue that I had with it is you've got to create relationships with more than one person and start lining things up for everybody, right? And then they want you to, buy those signs, and if somebody connects that sign, you get a lead, I get a lead, we all get leads. Well, great, but you've got to jump through a lot of hoops to get to that. And then a lot of agents out there already use a similar system. So when I was reaching out to them, they're like, oh, we have something like this in place already. We really don't need that. So I didn't find it to be anything that anybody was interested in. And then when I circled back around to those same people that I first talked to about Agent Connector and said, well, what if I can offer you new home buyer leads? Tables turned immediately. Their eyes widened like, well, tell me more,
Mm-hmm.
And when I have a talk with a loan officer, it goes just like this, are you currently working with any exclusive insurance agents that you're sending business to? One or two answers, yes or no, right? And if it's yes, I ask, well, what are you getting out of your insurance agent? And I'll get one of two answers, nothing or a quick turnaround. And when I tell them, okay, what if I can offer you a quick turnaround and these leads, I've now separated myself from the field. So it's a lot easier to get them to at least try out what I have to offer.
Awesome.
Hey, Mo.
Yeah, that was.
I'm gonna go ahead, Carl.
No, so that was my same experience with that lead connection. I had to jump to a lot of obstacles just to get. And by the time I got to those lenders, they already were working with somebody similar, or there was no difference between what I had to offer and what they already were working on. So that was my same experience.
Yeah, we've got a couple of questions here. What's the name of the software? I remember something similar in My Agent Connector. It's completely different. It's not even close to My Agent Connector. Brady, it's not a lead aggregator software. It's actually a course that teaches you how to place these ads that Zach showed you here on social media. So you'll place them on Facebook, and you'll be creating your own leads, which now are truly exclusive leads. So when you talk to a loan officer and you tell them, I want to send you exclusive new home buyer leads, you're not just making that up. You know, these are truly exclusive leads.
Mo, can I ask a question?
Yeah,
if you
shoot,
don't
man.
mind? And
Let's go for
also, hey, good to see you, man. Also, I'll vie for fully covered. I'm part of this program as well. Thankfully, Mo introduced it to me. I'm a new farmer's agent, so I'd be totally screwed without it. Internet leads, like we all talked about, don't work at all. I don't have time to do anything else because I'm getting the leads flowing in every day. So just it's worth the investment. Please go for it. You know, we have to spend money to make money, but it's a big payoff. But while I have Mo, Zach, and Ryan here, if you don't mind asking just to use this, because I'm still new to like sales and that whole process, that's like my weak point. Like I do very well getting the loan officers, talking to them, using the advice you guys have, but my weakness is actually like closing the deal with the referrals I get because you know I'm new to sales. So just curious if you guys had any advice on that.
Yeah, you know, I'll take that one. So, you know, typically what I do is when they send me a lead, I will generate the quote and send it back to the loan officer. And I ask them, does this work? Or do you have any debt to income issues with this loan? When you start talking their language and say things like DTI or debt to income, they love you even more because now they think, okay, this guy knows what I need and he knows what world I live in. And then he'll tell you straight up, you know, no, I need this to be a little bit lower, or no, this works perfectly. Okay. So now that I know this person can afford that, I don't typically reach out and send the insurance offer to the lead right away. Okay. I'll wait a couple of days and touch base again with the loan officer and say, you know, how close are you to closing? Okay. That's when I reach out to the lead and say, hey, I've been working with your loan officer for your insurance, and he's ready to have this bound so we can move forward with you closing on your home. This puts a little bit more of a sense of urgency on go ahead and get it done.
Right.
Okay. And they want the house, right? Ultimately, that's their goal. They want to buy the house. And this is something they're excited about. You don't give them time to shop around.
Yeah,
okay?
that's what I run into. Yeah.
Okay. And then in addition to that, you've got to know your product. So we have HO5. That's huge when you compare it to other products. I have a short video that I put together. It, you know, has my logo and office information. I send that out to just about every email for a lead that I talk to about home insurance. But I'll shoot that over to you guys. I have no problem posting that. And you can see it for yourself. You know, it describes in layman's terms the difference between HO3 and HO5. Okay. And, you know, for those of you that don't know, that is still kind of new to insurance world, HO5 is open peril. Okay. HO3 is what's written into the policy and only what's written into the policy, which leaves possible gaps in coverage. Because if it's not written into that HO3 policy, it's not covered. So our product is superior. It may cost a little bit more, but wouldn't you sleep better at night knowing that what is probably your biggest investment is properly covered? Okay. So those are two things that I do to kind of get around what you're dealing with, because I had to jump through some hurdles to figure that out myself. I was where you are a year back, and you know, that's the way I've found better closing ratios.
That's super helpful. Thank you, Mo.
You got it, man.
Yeah, and just to piggyback on that, you know, becoming a coach to them in some ways, you know, and how to refer somebody over, because something they may just not know, right? They've never really done the referral game. If they've ever needed to send a referral, they just kind of one-off it, however that looks, you know. So I start with my foot in the door, which is this whole program, and offering them the leads and the value and everything on the front end. And then I get to build the rapport with them and show them, like Mo said, speak their language and gain their trust and all those things to the point where when they refer somebody over to me, typically I still try to coordinate with them and what works best for them, but typically it's like an email with the client attached on it. But this is like, I was just, while you were talking, looking at like an example, this is kind of how a lead comes over, or a referral comes over. Just really simple, right? He's talking me up in a good way. So when I talk to a client like this that's already been referred, in this way, the conversation goes a lot different. And I pulled up a Smart Financial lead that I had back from in June when I started, where I'm calling a Wayne Johnson that I've never met before, and it's a shared home lead. The conversation in this type of lead versus the other, night and day, obviously.
Okay, yeah, that's great. Yeah, I'll talk to them. The introduction is huge for sure. Appreciate that.
Well, and Mark, you'll have cases where the DTI is an issue. Get creative. We all know how to do it. We'll get creative. We'll get them closed. But when there's not a DTI issue, and you're saying, depending on where you're at in the country and where your premiums are, if it's $100 more than somebody else's, that's $8 in your mortgage a month.
Right.
And when I say it to people like that, it's like, do you really want to skip all these optional coverages over $8? No, they don't.
Good point.
So keep in mind how they're probably paying this. They're not writing the check for the full amount. So
right, that's good. Thank you guys very much.
Sure. And I think it got touched on too. Ryan mentioned something about it. For me, not only does this strategy just work better in terms of running a good insurance agency and production and things like that, I just enjoy doing this type of work and working this type of model. You can't even put it on a scale compared to working the internet leads and making 4 hours of cold calls every day. I enjoy building these relationships with loan officers and then working with warm clients who actually need insurance or in the home buying mood and have a built-in sense of trust when they come over, versus calling somebody at random that shops their insurance every 6 months, and 4 other people just called them before I did, on the internet lead train. Personally, and I've told this to Ryan and Mo, I was not going to last, in the insurance industry if that's what my marketing looked like, was just buying boatloads of internet leads and calling and calling and calling. And whatever my close ratio was, Mo said 1%, mine was under 5%, and it was just a ton of work to get very little results. And now here I am 6 to 7 months later from when I started. And like I said, in that first month, I typically only did internet leads. And now I'm starting to see another downside of internet leads is all the ones that I did get, whatever that closing ratio was, a lot of them are now shopping on me and leaving 6 months later. But now it's 6 months later and they're back to, those types of prospects are wired that way. They are going to just shop, right? So all that work I did to get that 3% 6 months ago, now they're starting to look out elsewhere anyways.
and that leads right into, everybody knows, we're filling our funnel, right? We're filling our funnel. Garbage in, garbage out, man. We're going to keep filling it with internet leads, or do you want to fill it with people that own homes? In the long run, you're going to be better off if you fill that funnel with home buyers, people that bought homes that got referred to you. You don't close them now, we still got them. We still put them into our management system, and we hit them next year or the next year. And you got people that own homes and cars and toys, not that junk on the internet leads. So
Absolutely,
it's good in the long run too.
You're absolutely right about that. Absolutely. Guys, I reached out to Nato, who is the person who created this whole system, and asked him to jump on this call. So he's here. He's on the call with us right now. If you guys have questions, he's been doing it for a long time. And he's the one that created this whole system based on his own experiences. So here's a very good opportunity to talk to the man himself, ask him questions yourself. I invite all of you
to unmute and jump on. Nato, if you want to, give a quick introduction, go for it, brother.
Yeah, bro. Thank you. So is everybody on the call a farmer's agent?
Yeah, everybody here is enough farmers group.
Cool. So I will say I'm an independent agent, but here's the thing. Out of all the captive members in our group, farmers tends to have the most success. I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's because you guys are just more motivated than the other ones, or it's because farmers allows you to do more things, or you guys have a really good training program already. I don't know what it is about farmers, guys, but they tend to do, and when I say guys, I mean guys and girls, they tend to do better for whatever reason. And we have some superstars, and the ones that are in this call right now. I don't know if Mike Lely's in here also, but yeah. So if you guys have any questions for me, I'm more than willing to answer them.
And not
No,
only
transparent as possible. Also.
that he put a blue light behind him.
I was doing a video when you messaged me.
Anybody got any questions
And don't be shy.
on anything that we went over, or questions for Nato specifically?
No, I would just say, this is Carlos once again. I would just say it's nice to meet him. I seen him on Facebook all the time, and I'm always kind of hesitate to kind of learn more about his plan. And now that you guys are having him on board, makes sense. He knows how to market, so I'm very excited to kind of meet him via Zoom.
Yeah, man, that's the first thing that I hear from people when they first get on is, and I know this happened with Zach, I know this happened with Mo, I know it happened with Michael, is you're hesitant to purchase something because you don't know if it's going to work or not. You probably purchased other programs in the past, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I will tell you that everything that we teach and fully covered, I implemented in my own agency. So if I wish I could take this around, I can show you my whole agency, but that doesn't matter. Like, you have people like Zach and Mo and a whole bunch of other farmers agents that have already, they've already paved the way for you guys. They've already done it. So all you have to do really is just follow the system.
Great. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Hey guys, this is Mike Lely. So just real quick, I just want to sit back and just let everyone listen to Nato and Mo. This program for me, I've been with farmers for 8 years. It's officially 8 years, December 1. I joined, I think I was the 17th person to join Fully Covered, and I was the first farmers agent countrywide to join. In my first year, I hit President's Council, and then I did it again my second year. I don't think that's a coincidence. I've sold more life insurance than any other agent in Pennsylvania the last 2 years. So, the strategies here are just so easy for agents like us. We've got very competitive homeowner rates. It's just so easy to close these deals. And once you're in there on the homeowner side, guys, it's easy to cross-sell them. You're pulling down that homeowner rate when you hit them for auto. You're going to be able to go in the mortgage protection insurance. And this strategy is, I think I spend $800 a month on my ads and on my programs. And I pull, 70 plus policies every month consistently. So it's something that really works well. I'm glad that I signed up for it. That's for sure. That's all I had.
Thanks for sharing.
So I'm going to say something that probably they're going to hate that I'm going to say this, but because I feel Fully Covered, we're big on culture. So I don't want you guys to think that this is like a magic pill or a magic button that you press and everything starts working. There is work involved in this, just like anything else. Just like when you started an insurance agency, it just didn't become successful right away. There is a learning curve, but I will tell you that we have step-by-step videos and we have coaches that are in the group to answer your questions along with weekly calls. So what I'm going to tell you is when you come in here, we do expect you, as much as we're going to help you, we also expect you to do the work also. So just know it's not that magic button that you press. There is some work involved. And what I see with successful people that come in the group, you're looking at a 60 to 90 day window of implementing and getting referrals back to you.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. You know, just like anything that's worthwhile, you've got to put in the work to make it work. So it's not, you know, a program that you buy and then boom, magic button happens, just like you said, and everything falls into place. You've got to do the work, you know, and people always ask me, um, I see you always saying good things about it, but tell me what's hard about it, what's not good about it. And I say, well, it's not that it's not good, but it's not something that just happens for you. You've got to, you know, learn how to go through this and create the ads. Now, fortunately, they've created such an awesome program that it's literally step by step. You can hit play, hit pause, go do what you need to do. I like 2 monitors, so I had a video on one side and what I needed to work on the other, and I was going back and forth when I did my very first one. But over time, you learn it and you become more familiar with it. And on the second time that you're creating something, because it's more than one funnel that you're getting. You're not just getting a new home buyer funnel. There are funnels in there for insurance. So if you want to run an insurance funnel, you have the ability to do that, you know. And once you do it more and more, just like anything else, it becomes easier. The hardest part, I believe, is finding the right loan officers to work with. You know, I think I've cycled through 30, 40 of them, and I have 8 solid ones. But those 8 solid ones, a minimum of 5 per month. Okay, so that in itself should tell you something. And with the closing ratio like 73%, and then you start adding in cross sales, this becomes a no-brainer, and you start seeing your ROI really quickly once you're rolling.
Yeah, I will tell you that, you know, if there's farmers agents or just any agents in your area, I mean, I'm not going to stop marketing this course. So eventually somebody in your neighborhood or in your area is going to join Fully Covered. And if you don't join, they're going to have that competitive advantage over you, because an LO would much rather work with somebody that is giving them value versus another insurance agent that's not. So I'm all about getting that competitive edge on my competition. So you want to do everything possible. If it's not fully covered, then you need to work on what is going to be your competitive edge, especially now with what's going on with COVID and things. It's going to be a lot harder to do face-to-face with these loan officers, that even though the cookies, and, you know, I make fun of that stuff all the time, the cookies and the donuts never really work that well. It's definitely not going to work going forward, because how are you going to deliver them, you know? So if you guys don't join Fully Covered, just find whatever that competitive edge so you can beat out the guy around the corner. And if you guys have any questions, specific questions for me, just let me know.
Yeah, Nato's a great source. He's been a great mentor throughout this whole thing. This call is almost an hour long at this point. So at 1 o'clock, I will end the recording, because I do want to post it in the group, but I don't want to overwhelm people that actually want to watch it. So, you know, if you have any questions, now's the time to ask them. You can ask in chat, or you can unmute yourself and ask. But I will say, like, I'm very blessed to have found this, because I don't know where I would be without it, to be honest with you guys. You know, you're all farmers agents. A couple of you are in California, so you know our rates aren't the best. And, you know, we take rate increases almost as often as we get commission checks, it seems like. But you've got to find a way. Just like we've been saying over and over, if not this, then what? Because those other lead sources, those EverQuotes and Quote Wizards and so on, it didn't work for me. It did not work for me at all. And I know that several of us have that same experience with it. And then we have the farmers bigwigs pushing all these on us, and the few, you know, top dogs agents that are saying, this is the way, this is how I do my business, this is how I buy my leads. I buy each one of my producers 5 to 8 leads a day. But, you know, us little guys, we can't afford to do all that. You know, I barely have 2 producers. And I can't afford to go out there and buy 8 leads a day for them, especially with a closing ratio like 1%. Will, you asked what the next steps are. to Nato. Zach and I will guide you guys. If you want to, make the jump, we will guide you to someone to talk to that can get you signed up.
Okay.
Yeah, and Nato mentioned this too, and you talk about all the magic of creating these leads, and that's how we gain value with the loan officers, and eventually we get the referrals and all that. The value that I see in this program that's sometimes underscored is the culture, and the people that I've met and fully covered, and you're seeing some of them on this call. I think the reason why a lot of us are on this call is because people did this for us at some point, and we're grateful that somebody, kind of showed us a different path. And the culture and fully covered. My best friends with farmers, and even outside of farmers, are spread out around the country in fully covered. And the reason that is they're high achieving, motivated people, and that I'm not discounting the district that I'm at here in Minnesota, but I wasn't going to find what I needed to be as successful as I wanted to be in agency ownership had I just kind of hung around and taken the advice and the methodology that everybody was doing within my own district. I had to go find it somewhere else, and that's one of the biggest things I'm grateful for about fully covered. Every day, Ryan England in Utah, Mo in California, Nato's in Texas, Mike Lalise in Philadelphia, and I got other agents spread out around the country that I engage with every day on strategies around, the loan officer and real estate agents, and also other things as well. And everybody is at that level where they're constantly trying to evolve, grow their business, and things are evolving in the COVID-19 era. The way we do business is changing all the time. So yeah, I want to, probably about 5 minutes left. If anybody does have specific questions, I know in the beginning of this call, we kind of went through all the steps that we take, and there's a lot of information there. So if there was any questions that comes about from that, feel free to chime in now on the chat or.
Yeah, and you guys can always reach out to us. We're all in the same group, that farmers agents, innovative marketing. We started that for a reason, and we want people to feel free to share ideas in there without any censorship. And we noticed that other groups kind of like to badmouth things that they're not involved in, or things that aren't making them money. Or they just want to block you or talk bad about something that they don't really know anything about. And we don't believe in that. We want to all be in an environment where we can feel free to talk and not worry about getting blocked, or have a warning sent to you that you can't say certain things. So we created this forum for the specific purpose of all networking together and not having to worry about censorship. So, without mentioning any names of people in other groups, our number one goal is to grow this group and all share our ideas and what's working for us, so we can all become even more successful. Because like I said at the beginning of this call, like, when other farmers agents are successful, that helps me become more successful as well. The more, the more policies you have, the more policies I'll get eventually. So let's get out there and kill it together. And you guys can always reach out to us in the group, ask any questions, message me directly, message Zach directly. We're more than happy to be here for you guys.
Thank you, Mo.
Yeah, hope to see you guys in the group. Carlos, Gail, Matthew, Dennis, all you guys. Will, hopefully we'll see you in the fully covered group.
All right. Thank you.
I guess.
All right.
All right, guys, take it easy. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.